So who is even who anymore? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 3 of Masters of the Universe Revolution. This got interesting. Episode 1, not that great. It really wasn't. It was a weak episode that set up way too much, and it felt like it was just not going to be able to capitalize on all of that. And I didn't like where some of the plots were going either. Then we had episode 2, which, fixed a lot of those problems. A lot of the plots that were set up started to converge together and become kind of the same couple plots, so that things felt a lot more focused. There's still some things I'm not a huge fan of, but it gave us a little more, quality. On top of that, it gave us some intrigue with the fact that, we can't really trust anyone anymore. Because with Skeletor, with Skeletor or Skeletech, whatever you want to call them, and Motherboard just disguising themselves as others, anyone could be anyone. And we know the new king isn't even himself, because he's just Skeletor in disguise. We don't even know what happened to the real one. Also, I think last episode in the afterthoughts I kept calling him by the father's name, like Adam's father's name. By the way, I can't think of either of their names right now, but I think I kept calling him by the wrong name in the afterthoughts, so I apologize for that. But yeah, he's we don't even know if the real one is alive. I'm sure at least part of the story that was told was real, because otherwise Adam could easily find out that that was faked and just not a thing. But the question kind of comes into play at that point. Did he actually die when the village or town or whatever was raided? And now they're just using this knowledge to trick Adam into thinking he faked his death, somehow survived, and that's how he's back after all this time. I don't know. I don't know what the goal is here. But with the fact, again, that anyone could be just Skeletor or Motherboard, or even someone else, I guess, maybe, in disguise, we really can't trust much of anyone at this point. Like, Teela and, I guess, Lynn. My mind was blanking like crazy on her name. Teela and Lynn, I think we can trust, because they're away from all of this right now. But pretty much everyone else in the kingdom, I think, is suspicious now. The only one I'm thinking is not going to be, faked is Adam. I think anytime we see Adam, it is without question him. But everyone else is suspicious now, just automatically. The king, every time we see him, we know he's a fake. So, there's no question about that. But anyone else could be a disguise as well. So, what do we believe here? What are we supposed to believe here? I don't know. But I don't know how long this ruse is going to keep up either. That could change things too. If they keep it up for a while, or if they reveal themselves sooner. Now, this is episode 3 out of 5 that are currently released. I feel like it's gonna have to, do something to leave off on, because of the way this is released. It's put up in 2 parts on Netflix. The first 5 episodes and then the last 5 episodes of the season. The first half of the season has to end off with some big cliffhanger, some big either reveal or big fight or something. It's got to end off in a very impactful way. So the question is, what are they going to do to leave this off for the first half of this season? And after that, what do they do for the second half? I don't know. I can't tell where this is going at all right now. But I'm definitely interested to find out. Because this is... It's got a sort of intrigue to it that the first season didn't quite have. The first season was more about the coolness and the action and the magic of it all. This one has definitely more of a mystery to it. And that makes it stand out quite a bit. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they go and how this half of the season ends. I'm probably going to do episodes 4 and 5 together, but I'm not 100% on that yet. Because here's the deal. As you have more than likely heard by this point, if you haven't, this is new, I guess, to you, if this is like all you're watching or whatnot. But just to reiterate here on the channel, we are taking a break next week. From Tuesday to Sunday of next week, we are going to be taking a spring break. And it just means that I'm going to be having all of that time off. No uploads, no recording, just relaxation. Just to refresh myself and get myself ready for getting to more. Next Monday, we are going to be doing a few select shows, specifically Dr. Stone, One Piece, and Wakfu. Those are going to be the 3 select shows we're going to be doing to kind of like get to something before the break. But once Tuesday hits, we're off. And that means that there's not going to be another Masters of the Universe Revolution episode until 2 weeks from today. So we're kind of we're taking a 1-week break from this, just by default as well. And so I'm thinking of maybe because of that, doing the last 2 episodes together on the day we return in 2 weeks. And it's something I haven't fully committed to yet. We'll see where this episode leaves off, and maybe I'll determine it by the end, but you'll obviously know when the reaction comes out in 2 weeks either way. But we'll see how this goes. Let's see how this goes and go from there. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went back and listened to his voice again, to Gwildor again. I'm sorry. That sounds exactly like Weird Al Yankovic. Not just in terms of the sound of the voice, but even the way he speaks, the way he enunciates, the way... everything. I don't know, like, apparently the voice actor is Ted Biaselli. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Biaselli, I don't know. Who hasn't really done much of anything, like, notable or major. I don't know if he's intentionally doing a Weird Al impression, but it sounds exactly like Weird Al. Like, if you've heard Weird Al doing a voice in anything, this is exactly what he sounds like. It's like... it's throwing me off that it's not him. Because it's like... I went back and listened to it again multiple times. And it is so spot on, again, with just the way he speaks. Not just the sound of his voice, but the way he speaks. The way he enunciates words. The way... just everything. his it's just it's I don't understand how that's not Weird Al. Like I mean, I've genuinely, again, I don't know if it's intentional, because if it's not, that's even wilder. Because I've never heard, I think, an impression of anyone that sounded that spot on. And I've heard a lot of people do impressions, whether for just regular comedy or for musical impressions or whatnot. I have heard a lot of those, but none of them have ever been that spot on to the point where it's pretty exact. Again, it's not just the sound of the voice, it's the way it's the I think the word's diction. It's the way he speaks, the specific way he says words. It's exactly like Weird Al. It is eerie how perfect that is. And again, I don't know if that's the intent. I genuinely don't understand if that's what Ted BSLE is going for. But I can't see how it wouldn't be. And if this is the case, if that is an intentional Weird Al impression, how is it so perfect? How is his voice that perfect? I genuinely don't understand. Because it's like, I'm watching this for the first time as I'm doing the reaction. I'm not just sure that that's him. I'm 100% sure. Like, there's no room for doubt in my mind. There's no room for question, because that is exactly the way he speaks. I genuinely don't understand. Like, I'm trying to comprehend it in my mind, and it is not clicking with me. I almost don't believe it. Like, there's a part of me that wants to say that these credits are lying to me. Because it's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I genuinely almost don't believe it. Because it's so perfectly on point to Weird Al. And, like, I don't have enough of anything to work off of with Ted Biaselli. Apparently, he voiced Pleakley in the Stitch series. I guess one of the few examples where Pleakley was voiced by someone different than normal. And I guess he's in the 2012 TMNT series, but I haven't seen enough of that to say. And it's like nothing else I would know him from. And it's just like, I have nothing to compare it to with his voice as it is in anything else. But I've heard Weird Al do a lot of different voice roles at this point. And I think very specifically, if I had to name a specific role that this sounds like Weird Al in, I would say it is Probabilitor the Wizard in Gravity Falls. He very specifically sounds exactly like Weird Al's performance of Probabilitor. Like the diction, the way he's speaking, like it's so exact. It's like, it's just, I'm sorry I'm spending so long talking about this. I know you guys probably want me to talk about fucking Keldor being Skeletor, but I'm sorry. This is just like, my mind literally is not comprehending that that's not Weird Al. It's just, if I don't move on, I'm just going to be talking about this for 10 minutes, and I need to move on. I know. Let's move on. because I don't want to be just talking about this one thing for too long. So this is going fast. um, this feels like kind of more of what I expected for episode 5 to end on. Instead, this is episode 3 out of 10. And that's a little concerning. Because if this is only episode 3, how are they going to have the Horde be a threat this entire season at the pacing they're going? If the Horde is taken over Eternia this early, this quickly, how is the pacing going to continue for 7 more episodes? Like, you can't defeat the Horde in episode 5, because then what are you going to do for the second half of the season? But that's what it feels like it's going towards. With how the pacing is working, I don't see how they're not going to defeat the Horde in episode 5, because they're going so fast. I can't see, like, this going past that at this point. But you can't defeat the Horde this quickly either. If you defeat the Horde this quickly, it makes the Horde look like nothing. It invalidates their level of threat. It invalidates Hordak as an intimidating villain. And then, again, what would you do for the second half of the season? I mean, I feel like because of this entire revelation, which I'll get to with Skeletor, I have a feeling he's probably going to switch sides, especially because, Hordak is, shitty towards him. So Skeletor's going to end up working with He-Man again. That's going to happen. But, like, if this was defeated, if this is taken care of by episode 5, what the fuck do you do with the second half of the season? Because how do you go up from this? Like, you have Skeletor and Lynn in the first season. Great, cool, awesome villains. Great way to start as well with villains. Season 2, you go with the Horde. It's like, where do you fucking go from there? Maybe I'm not as familiar with He-Man stuff as a lot of people, but is there something more threatening than the Horde? When I think of He-Man villains, it's like the Horde is kind of like the top. It's like, where do you go from there? I don't even know if there's going to be another season, mind you, but if they do, I can't see them defeating the Horde. But then if the pacing suddenly slows down a lot, that's going to be fucking weird. Oh, the pacing for the first 3 episodes just shoots out of a cannon. It's just like Flash levels of speed. And then it just slows down to a snail's crawl just to, make it so the Horde isn't defeated by episode 5. That would be weird. Would it not? That would feel off for the pacing to suddenly slow down that drastically. Like, there's not that much going on either. That's the problem. There's the invasion of the Horde who have now taken over. Teela with her new Ka magic. What else are you supposed to do besides fight against the Horde now? Like, the only thing I could even possibly think of is maybe, like, they try to fight the Horde, lose, and are driven into, like, this, like, rebellion, like, kind of state where they're living, like, on the land and stuff, living in, like, tents or whatnot. But I think they did that kind of thing with season 1, didn't they? So it's like, would they really just repeat the same thing over and over? That'd be kind of boring. I don't know. I just don't see where they can go with this at this point without beating the Horde super quickly or making the pacing feel excessively off. I'm just really confused. honestly. This is not what I expected. And speaking of unexpected, yeah, we have to talk about it. So, Skeletor is Keldor. Keldor is Skeletor. They are one in the same. Skeletor didn't know this, though. Somehow, this was wiped from his brain when he became Skeletor. So, let me go back to that. I'm going to mute it, of course, so there's no copyright issues during this. But let me go back to that revelation. Funny, we're in Revolution. We're not in Revelation anymore, but okay, so here's the scene where it's revealed. I'm trying to get to the right moment here. Okay, so we see Keldor as a young adult. Got the beard and everything. And he watches, like, the village. I assume, like, is what we expected, what we already knew about. The village, whatnot, is destroyed. All of that is taken out. It's just like the story that he told Adam. His village was destroyed. All of that was true, and he did survive. He did manage to survive. And it seems like the village was destroyed by the Horde. After surviving, he went as the lone survivor to Hordak. And struck a deal with him, it seems. So he starts working with Hordak, who leads him to the Havoc Staff. And upon taking hold of the Havoc Staff, the magic of it is what transforms Keldor. Like, you literally see the flesh and meat, like, just be obliterated from his face, and it's like, Jesus, fuck. It's like, okay, that's gruesome as hell. Like, you literally see it all melting. You see his eyeballs melt away, and it's like, Jesus, fuck. And he becomes Skeletor. And so then we see, like, Skeletor is there at the nursery with baby Prince Adam. I'm not sure if at this point he knew who he was, if he still knew he was Skeletor. But Adam is being protected by, you know, his parents. The guards have Skeletor in hand. And it looked like Hordak was there too. He and Skeletor invaded the castle. I don't know if they were trying to get to Adam, or if that was just a plan by Hordak to frame Skeletor for it all. But it's like, it seems like Skeletor, I don't know, I'm still unsure if his memory was intact, or if that was kind of the shattering point for him. I think his memory went when he transformed. He knew he was loyal to Hordak, so Hordak betraying him there. But then he's working for Hordak again now. The problem with this backstory is it's shown through, like, no dialogue. You're just, like, shown what happened. You're not told. Which, I mean, a lot of people prefer show, don't tell and all that. But the problem is there's context for certain things that's missing. You're not fully getting the picture of exactly what happened. Again, because it's unclear on certain things, like exactly when his memory left him, when he forgot he was Keldor. When did that happen? Was it with that when the Havoc Staff transformed him, or was it after he and Hordak invaded the nursery? Was it at some other point? We don't know. Mind you, this could be explored further. And we might get our answers, might get to figure out exactly what happened, but as of now, it's like we are kind of in the dark about a lot of it still. Granted, I think that could be the point because Skeletor was just getting those memories back. So there's might be a couple things that are still a little fuzzy for him. He's just getting those memories back and realizing he is Keldor. Which at the end of the episode, like, he reveals himself to Adam, but has not yet told Adam that he is actually, like, really Keldor. Like, literally. So I wonder if that's going to be revealed right away next episode, or if that's going to wait. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a lot of questions still in regards to that. On top of that, we have Teela training her Ka magic against Lynn, and at first it looks like they're just fighting. It looks like Lynn said or did something to provoke her. It looks like she was betraying her, but it was just training. It was just training the magic. And I still question, is she going to stay looking like that? Because it's like, I'm not necessarily opposed, but that's going to take a lot of getting used to for other characters like Adam. They also talk a lot about Teela's love for Adam, which, yeah, is, I guess, a thing. Even though I still stand by that she has more romantic chemistry with Andra. But, you know, you have to have Teela and Adam fall in love or some shit. It's like, just gotta stick with the heteronormative idea of this all. I'm glad we at least have the She-Ra series for all the gay shit. There's at least that. This series seems to be afraid to still go there. Even though, again, everything is there for that. All the chemistry is there. But they're not willing to actually take the step to going there. Which is unfortunate. But yeah. And all of this invasion and everything is happening while, like, it's the worst time. Because Teela's away. You have Adam without his powers and without his sword to channel powers through. Which, if he had his sword, he could probably get around the fact that his powers are being blocked otherwise. Maybe. But everything is just, like, perfectly set up. And, of course, that was Hordak's plan. Like, everything was set into motion in the perfect way. Everyone was exactly where they needed to be for this plan to work. And, of course, Andra unwittingly helped to mind control all of Eternia. So that happened. That's fucked. Andra wanted to get in on the actual action, and she's definitely going to have to here because she has to make right on what she did wrong here. Granted, it's not entirely her fault. She was manipulated by Skeletor, so yeah. It's just, I'm very curious as to where they could go with this now. Because again, it feels like this should, like, be finished in 2 episodes. Like, the story of the season seems like it's going through so quickly that it's going to be done in 2 episodes. And I don't know if this is just a pacing issue or if they have a plan for that. I don't know. But we'll see. I am a little concerned. I genuinely am. But it is all going to depend on how it's executed and everything. This episode was great. But at the same time, it's concerning. So hopefully it quells my concerns and it ends up being really good. It ends up, actually making it work. We shall see. For the time being, though, thank you all so much for tuning in. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? And as always, no spoilers. I don't want to know what's actually going to happen going forward until I discover it through watching it. So don't try to tell me like, oh, don't worry, this is gonna stop this from happening, or this is gonna happen by episode 5 to keep it going. Don't tell me shit like that. That is spoilers. I don't want to know. I want to go into this, continue to go into this as blind as possible. So yeah, no spoilers. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Tell me your thoughts on this episode. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.